Hi, I'm Dr. Donald Boomgaarden, President of St. Joseph's University, New York, and I'd like to welcome you to Living Our Mission. Built on tradition and founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph more than 100 years ago, we are a mission-driven institution that provides a strong academic, value-oriented education with growing diverse campuses located in Patchogue and Brooklyn, New York, as well as online. Thank you for joining us. In this program, we will continue our discussion about our university designation, focusing on the future. This past April, the New York State Department of Education granted us university status. It was an historic moment for our century-old institution, marking the beginning of our next chapter as a mission-driven institution. While the change of designation will bring many benefits to our community, the academic-focused character and qualities of St. Joseph will remain unchanged. To talk more about how this change will impact the future of our university is Janelle Hill, Associate Vice President for Student Life, and Mandy Frasconia, President of the Long Island Campus's Student Government Association. So welcome to both of you. I'm so happy to have you here today. This is an exciting time for St. Joseph's. The last season when I did this program, we were St. Joseph's College, and so I'm going to apologize to the viewers in advance if I say St. Joseph's College when I really should be saying St. Joseph's University. It's been a challenge for me as president to make that shift, but an exciting one. And I think that when people talk to me about it, they are very, very interested in what does this mean for St. Joseph's? How is St. Joseph's going to change? And one of the things I emphasized to them is that we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to change our identity. But naturally, as a university, we have to look at things slightly differently. So, Janelle, I'm going to start with you and ask you a little bit about, this is an institution which is very student-centric. There are institutions out there, even here on Long Island, that are very, very research-oriented. That's terrific. But we've always been an institution that focuses on the students and teaching. And so part of that, of course, is student life and the connection between student life and the academic world. So when you think about this designation change, what do you think it will mean for us in terms of how we relate to our students and the kinds of activities and approaches that we take with them on campus?
Well, I would definitely agree with you that this is very exciting times for us. Even when we speak to our students about the designation, they have all been so excited because it means that we're continuing to grow, right? This is a time of growth. This designation doesn't change who we are, but more accurately reflect who we are becoming and who we are, right? And so as a university for our students, this is a great opportunity for them, as you mentioned, with their academics to showcase the academic programs, but then also their marketability, right? What does it mean for their degrees? What does it mean for where they go after this and their postgraduate student success? And as you mentioned, because we're so student-centric and focused, we really want our students to be able to succeed both here while they're here, but then also their life after St. Joe's. And so this university designation only elevates who we are and elevates our students' experiences and their opportunities.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose, when you're speaking with students about this, and you're speaking with them constantly, are there questions or concerns that they've had about the change?
Interestingly enough, in the beginning, sometimes they're like, well, what does it actually mean, right? Mm-hmm. Does it change, we're a small institution, class size. Is it going to change our class size? Mm-hmm. No, this is not meant to change our class size, right? What will it mean for me for my degree? Does it make me more marketable to employers, or where's my career next steps and how I can have tangible outcomes from this? So that's some of the questions we get a lot in the beginning. When are we going to get university sweatshirts? When are we going to apparel? What are the things that they're excited about? And so I know that we've had pop-up spirit shops, and almost always they have sold out because the students are really excited to be able to showcase we are now part of a university. And although they love their college and who we were, they're very excited for the future. And that part is the excitement that we want to continue to grow and leverage.
Well, I'm hoping, and I think I'm seeing the awareness of the students in the fact that even though we have a new designation as a university, we're still St. Joseph's. We're still the place that they wanted to come to before. We still have those special qualities. So You know, Maddie, you're in a unique situation because you're the president of the Student Government Association. You're the president of the Student Government Association for the first time elected as a university, right? So that's a new thing. So for you personally, how did the changeover affect you? What are some of the thoughts and feelings that you had?
I was very excited when I first found out. But I feel academically and scholastically, like you both said, nothing has changed. We are a place of high academic integrity. And I feel like becoming a university has showed other people on the outside what we truly stand for here. Because we are a commuter school, a lot of people have said, oh, it's a commuter school, but that's not what we are here. That's not what we stand for. And becoming a university has showed everybody that. And I feel personally, I've always had so much pride and spirit for the college, and that has only increased with becoming a university.
Yes, I think a lot of people have asked me, well, you're primarily non-residential, so what is that like for your students? I mean, are they really active on campus? And I said, well, surprisingly, I think our students are more active than almost any campus I've been on, because this is the focus, is when they're on campus, you know, we need to create that sense of spirit and a sense of connection. And so we even have something which we call Common Hour. So every day there are times of the day where our students can meet and gather and have all kinds of activities. This doesn't even happen on many campuses. So strangely enough, even though we're non-residential, we probably have a more vibrant student life and a more vibrant student government association. Now, Maddie, when I first got here, one of your predecessors said, you know, Dr. Boomgaarden, we really wish the students were more involved in the campus life. And I had to smile, and I was thinking, you know, because you haven't been to another campus, you don't know how involved we really are. In other words, our students are really so involved that they think they should be even more involved, right? So that's a great problem to have, and the Student Government Association plays a big role in that. For the viewers, can you describe what the Student Government Association does? What's its primary activity?
So the Student Government Association is made up of the 4 executives, president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And then we are made up of all of the club presidents, and that makes up our Senate. So we meet every other Monday with the Senate, and we always welcome an audience. And we discuss policies, we bring up student problems. If there's anything going on campus, we have an open forum every week. We also talk about policies and things that the clubs are doing. We also plan some events on campus. We're having our annual Fall Fest celebration, but we're making it bigger this year, partly to celebrate because we are a university now and we are doing bigger things. So we are turning it into a carnival where all of the clubs are coming. We've invited the sports teams so we can create this collaboration and sense of community and spirit on campus.
For the viewers, I want to emphasize the fact that they're doing all this without talking to me. In other words, this is the Student Government Association is really running its own operation, and so the members of the executive committee and the members of the student senate are really learning really important leadership skills while they're here. So they may not be thinking of it that way, but when they go out into the world and start to assume positions of responsibility, they will have had the experience of running meetings and organizing events, and this is a key part of what the Student Government Association does.
I agree. We have over 40 clubs and club sports teams here on campus. Each club holds monthly meetings. Some hold them twice a month. They also run their own events. So on top of the student government events that we put together, they're running their own events as well. They work together collaboratively. Some of them do them on their own. It's really so impressive to watch.
And as you've been working with them this year, have there been any conversations about, well, now we're a university, so we would like to do this or that?
I think we, as a student government, as a whole, we have been trying to do more things on a larger scale. So we've encouraged the clubs to work together, showcase that we are a university now, we can do all of these things, but at the same time, we're also like, well, why don't we all work together as a whole and let's showcase what we are.
In a way, the expectations are a little bit higher in terms of what we can accomplish. And I think that probably helps you and the rest of the students who are trying to organize the clubs and getting memberships in the clubs and getting them active on campus. And I think that one of the great statistics that we have at St. Joe's is that we frequently have over 80% retention. In other words, when the student comes to us, they stay with us. And it's the students that are involved in SGA and involved in clubs, or the students that find a home here and are happy along with doing their academic studies. They also have a wonderful social life. Well, we have to take a quick break, but still to come, more about the future of St. Joseph's University, New York.
Ready to be, not to seem? Ready to seize opportunity, take the lead, and raise the bar? Ready to get the job done on the front line, at the front of a classroom, or in the boardroom? With campuses in Patchogue, Brooklyn, and online, St. Joseph's University, New York delivers a strong, values-oriented, and affordable education so you're ready for an exciting career and a life of authenticity and integrity. St. Joseph's University, New York. Ready, set, Joes.
Welcome back to St. Joseph's University, New York, Living Our Mission. We were just discussing what our university designation means for the future of St. Joseph's. And Janelle, we touched on that a little bit, but as you step back and you take a look at, let's say, the next 5 years, what kinds of dreams do you have as an important leader in student life for the university? What kind of dreams do you have for the next 5 years?
So I would say for us, we always aspire in student life to provide a co-curricular experience for our students, right? So that means for our students, we want them to do everything both inside the classroom and outside of the classroom and really leveraging their experience. And so if I had to think about the next 5 years, one of the most exciting things that we're doing on campus is opening a new student center, right? And so what does that mean for our students? The fact that they're going to have a dedicated space to them on campus. You mentioned earlier that we're a non-residential campus, and so sometimes our students want to find spaces, right? And so having this opportunity for them to have their own dedicated space is going to continue the new renewed energy that we already see on campus. You know, this year I was mentioning to Maddie that we're so excited because the students are so excited. They came back and they were excited about our new designation. They were excited that we were coming out of a pandemic and really having more opportunities to do more in-person activities with them. And so I'm really hoping that that energy will be continued, but then also we will bring that into this new space and really allow them to be able to have even more opportunities there.
When I came here 6 years ago, one of the things I saw a need for was that kind of student center. I had conversations with the Board of Trustees, I had conversations with alums, and when I mentioned that, they were excited because they had been here as students, and they said, you know, we wish we'd had a space that we could call our own and that was really designated for student life activities because it was so vibrant and we wanted it to be successful. In fact, the current chair of our Board of Trustees, Chris Carroll, was the SGA president when he was here back in the 80s. He doesn't like me to mention how long ago it was, but it was a while back. And actually, it was his idea to have Common Hour, to have that special time every day for students to get together, and he's still very proud of that. But I remember talking to him about this, and he was very excited because he was like, that would be wonderful, because it would give the students a place to go in between classes, first and foremost, but also it would give them spaces, and there'll be offices and classrooms there. And also, you know, we've made a special effort to have some classrooms that are technologically connected to our Brooklyn campus, so it creates a connection to the Brooklyn campus as well. So I think that student center, it'll be completed sometime in the next academic year. $17 million structure. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going up. You can drive by. If you're watching today, you can drive by the campus and see it. It's fantastic. I'm very, very excited about it. The progress on that, and as you said, the other dreams that we have, I think will be accomplished in the next 5 years. We're really looking forward to that.
And it'll also increase that connection that we're talking about and that student pride and giving them the opportunity to really have all of those avenues that they want to explore. You know, even on campus now, you find students gathering in certain spaces because they want that. They want to be able to have the community, and we're just giving them more opportunities to build upon that.
And I think I have to say that if you're a parent and you're watching, although many students want to go away, they want to go to schools, and they want to live in residence halls and so forth, your student may not be in that place. And you also may be a family where you're looking at that cost and you're thinking, I'm not really sure it's worth it to make that kind of a commitment. At St. Joseph's, you can have all of those wonderful experiences without that additional cost. And also, you know, we're creating this environment for the student, and the retention figures speak for themselves. Our retention figures are higher than many of the schools that do have the residence halls, and that says something. So I think that that student center will really assist us in that journey. Maddie, in your role with student government, you're a liaison between the students and the university, and you know, you talk to them all the time. If I asked you that question, what would the students like to see happen over the next 5 years now with this new designation, what would the answer be?
I think they want to continue to see everything that we're doing and more. And what I mean by that is we're doing so much for the students. Like you said, Common Hour, we have activities that we plan, and we're able to work together and pull from all of our resources and accomplish so much. I think to keep that, to keep the energy and do more. So I know we're planning a big end of the year celebration for all of the clubs, and we're able to do that because we are a university. We're able to celebrate everything we've done on a larger scale. And I think to keep doing that, I think that will keep everybody involved, and it will keep involving new people. And I think that it'll just keep that pride and sense of pride that we have for St. Joseph's. That just makes this place amazing.
Well, I agree completely with you. I think it will really help to cement that relationship with the students all the more, to have the university designation. And you know, for you personally, of course, it'll have some benefits too. When you graduate, having graduated from a university may mean a little bit more than having graduated from a college. Although, as you pointed out earlier, we're the same institution. And in fact, when I got here, one of my questions was, well, why aren't we a university? Because we have all the programs, we have the size, we're just as big as in terms of physical size as the University of Scranton, where I was before I came here. And so I think that designation is really more of a statement of the reality of who we already are. But you know, in your own personal experience, I know that you're focusing on computer science and math and education. So tell me a little bit about that story. I mean, what brought you to that decision, and what brought you to St. Joseph's?
I've always wanted to go to St. Joseph's. Since I was in kindergarten, we would drive by on Sunrise Highway and I'd say, that's my school, that's where I'm going. In 5th grade, when we had to write our letter to ourselves about where we hope to be when we graduate high school, and it got mailed home, the last line of my thing was, I hope you're going to St. Joe's and I hope you got a good scholarship. And my mom cried. But being a math teacher, I've always wanted to be a teacher. And I didn't know what kind of teacher. It bounced between Spanish, math, English for a little bit, child study, and then I'm a math tutor. And I've always been a math tutor, but I always said, I don't know if I'm going to teach math. And then one day I was like, why am I not going to teach math? I loved it. I had such a passion for it. I felt confident. And then so I decided on math. And then I came into St. Joseph's as a junior. I had so many credits from high school, and I said, I don't want to rush my time here. I love being here. I love being on campus. I want to get as involved as I can. So I said, okay, I'll add another major. And I was in my computer programming course, and I was like, wow, I love this. And I took it in high school, and I hated it in high school. I just couldn't connect with the material, but my teacher in high school said, just wait till you get to college. You'll love it in college. And I did not believe her. But she was right, and that's how I became a computer programming and math major.
Well, your story has been replicated many times by students who come here. They're not sure what they want to do. They have a rough idea. Not as many are as excited about coming to St. Joseph's, but many are. But that story of coming to campus and then beginning to kind of discern what you want to be in life. And the campus allows you to do that, not just the Student Government Association activities and the club activities, but in the classroom, you are working with your professors to kind of put your finger on what is it that excites you and motivates you as a student. And of course, you know, I think, Janelle, you'd agree with me that one of the key duties that we have is to help students take that journey, is to help them to find that special place in their heart that allows them to become who they are meant to be. And that process, that journey is such an important reason for the success of St. Joe's. And the faculty, I know the faculty in math and computer science are some of the best that we have. And so that connection is possible with them. So we're very proud of the connection between the students and the faculty. And then you're also working as a math tutor to help students here right now.
I've worked as a math tutor off of campus. So I've actually tutored a lot of people that have went through my high school. And it was a lot of people that have just reached out like, I need help, like please. I'm very big on helping others. I think that we all thrive when we help other people, and that's how we function.
And that's one of our core values, right? The value of service to others, because it's through the service of others that we really find joy and happiness. It's the exact opposite of what, you know, the modern world teaches you. It's clear that to really find yourself is one of the great experiences, and the campus can allow you to do that. Janelle, as you hear this story and think about it, what kind of activities are processes do you go through when you're trying to help students make that decision about who they're going to be in life? Does that conversation come up very frequently with you?
Very often. It actually comes up all the time. And I think you made a great point. We're here to support the students through their academic journey. And every academic journey may look a little different depending on the student. But because we are so dedicated to our students, there are so many services and different ways they can explore that. Whether they explore it through career exploration, right? They can go to our career offices and think about where do they want to be. In addition, our campus ministry office does a lot of work with our students, especially when it comes to service and community outreach, and even their spiritual journey, right? And where they are in that journey. And sometimes that then leads to where do I want to be, right? And figuring that out. The faculty and staff, as you alluded earlier, are so supportive of our students. And because the class sizes are so small, and because we're so dedicated to giving different opportunities, we're always here to have those conversations. And sometimes it's informal, whether it's just meeting with a student or having a student say, how's classes going? They're like, well, I'm not sure about this class, or I'm not sure about that class. Or sometimes it's actual programming around it, right? Or actual workshops or actual events. And so I think, you know, all of the clubs also have academic clubs, right? So most of the majors have an academic club associated with that major, and they do workshops, they invite speakers in. And so I think through all of the experiences that the students have, it helps support them. And knowing that it's okay, right? Coming to college, coming to a university is your time to learn. It's your time to grow. It's your time to push yourself so that when you do leave St. Joseph's, you'll have all of the skills, you'll have all the tools that you need to be successful for whatever next steps you decide on.
I think that's such a beautiful thought. It's so true, and it reminds me of, you know, the Sisters of St. Joseph who founded the college, the university. They had a mentor. His name was Father Jean-Pierre Médaille. And he wrote maxims, you know, sayings. And one of his sayings was to pray to God that I dream the same dream that God dreams for me, right? So learning to dream the dream that God dreams for us is kind of part of what, Maddie, what you've gone through and what so many of our students go through. And that is that ability to connect with the divine, or that force that helps them to move forward in life, to go out and do good for others. In this case, to help people to learn how to do math and computer science. All right. So thank you for joining us today, and thank all of you for watching St. Joseph's University, New York, Living Our Mission.